In this segment of the Lists and Links project, we're going to work on our list pages. I want you to copy the whole folder. So we're going to copy the whole folder, paste it in here, and we're going to rename it to Lists and Links. Lists, Links 2, because I want you to hand them in separately on the web server in case I don't grade them the first one until you have the second one up and you can see it build as a site. Then we can go into our integrated development environment. And here we should have List Links 2. Make sure you've got everything else shut because it gets confusing if you have different files of the same name. So we want to make sure that we are in the correct folder. And for this, we're going to really just focus on working on the lists. We'll be using images when we get to the links. So we're going to go into the list page, and we will also need to go into the CSS page. And as usual, I like to have these set up and my preference is to have the HTML on the left and the CSS on the right, and then I will close that. So this is how I like to work. So you should have gone out to the W3 school site and looked at the sample code on lists, and you should have watched the videos from LinkedIn Learning on lists, and we're going to get a bit into styling the CSS. So I'm going to be going back and forth between the CSS or between this page and the W3 schools, which is my reference when I'm working on things. So W3 schools, HTML lists. And this shows unordered, ordered, description lists, also called definition lists. And we're going to work with each of these. Now you have to do, I'm going to get you started on each one. I'm not going to give you every piece of each one, and you shouldn't be copying mine exactly. It should have your own content. So where I'm giving you like 3 examples, you'll need like 5, but I'm going to get you started on it. So we're going to start with a very basic ordered list. And the assignment tells you, okay, so we're going to put in some H tags here just to make this make sense. So we're going to have an H1, which we're going to call lists. And for each of the subsections, I'm going to have an H2. I'm going to multiply it by 3 because I'll need 3 of them. And then I'm going to have unordered list, ordered list, definition list. And I'm not going to do the complete lists. You need to do 5 for each with sublists. I'm not going to go quite that far because I don't need to do all of it. I just need to give you the pattern to work from. So we're going to do an unordered list. And an unordered list starts with an OL. And you will want 5 items in it. And the emmet to make the shortcut for that, OL greater than LI times 5. This will create an ordered list, except I want an unordered list, UL unordered list with 5 list items. And so I can type that in, hit tab, and so I've got the opening unordered list, the closing unordered list. And then in here, this one's supposed to be favorite foods. And you'll have like pastas or anything. Like I like, I will put in pasta. And I like Mexican. And so underneath these, what I want you to do is you're going to have sub-levels for the list. So if I go back to the code here, it will show you the basic lists, And we are going to have to go here to our unordered list. And it shows you the different styles for the markers here. And we can do this in the HTML, or we can do it as an external style sheet, which is my preference. And then we can nest it. And notice that we have to nest it before the closing LI item. So we're putting a whole other UL in here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I have to, before I start a new list, I can put my unordered list in here, and then I can put in my LI, and I'm going to multiply this by 2. And I'm going to put in tacos and nachos. What you're putting in here doesn't really matter. It's that you're getting the unordered list correct. Then we can do styling of the list. So I can do UL, and let me take you back out to the W3 schools. You have multiple choices here for their style type. List style type circle, list style type disc. So pick one. It doesn't have to be the same one as me. So I'm going to go ahead and leave in list style type disc. And then if I want to change it at a level of unordered list within the unordered list, I can do a list style type square. And we can save this. And we can test it. And I'll test it in Chrome. Okay, so this is moving things, and you see I've got circles and squares, and we can play with other things with the styling. So we can go into the CSS, and we can look for lists here, and you can see that we can do the list style type, which we've already done: circle, square, upper Roman, lower alpha. We can put in an actual image here. I encourage you to try that. And then we can try positions. So it can be outside the list, inside, and I want you to apply at least one of these. So I'm going to do, for the unordered list, we're going to specify the style position. We'll do inside on this one, and here we'll do the style position outside, and we're going to save it. And then we can go back into Chrome. That's the old one. This is the correct one, links to, and I can refresh, and you can see it changes the spacing a bit. So you're going to need to go through the same thing for the ordered list and the definition list. So for my ordered list, and this was singers or bands, I would put in my OL with five list items, and I would put in Queen, and I would put in my favorite song from here. So again, it would be OL. with 2 list items, and I put an under pressure and another one bites the dust. And do what I did in looking at the W3 schools. Look for your different options for styling and putting letters. Change it from the default. You'll have a definition list, and that's a little bit different. And so I will do web terms, and that's going to be DL. And then inside the definition list, you need a DT, which is your term, and we'll do it for HTML. And then we'll need and I'm going to have to go back out here and look at that for a second. So we've got, we can go to HTML and lists. And you can see that we need DT, that's your term, and DD, that's the definition or description. DD, hypertext markup language. And you'll need to look in the CSS reference as well, because for this, I'm going to have DT set to font weight bold, color purple. And so you can adjust those as you please. So that's what you're going to need to do, and save and then upload the whole site, link specifically to the lists page, and make sure that you've gone in and modified from the defaults on the styles.